Welcome into another edition of Sports Junkies here at RacingSportsZone.com. I'm Steve Sparky Fifer from AM 1250 and 105.7 FM The Fan.
You know, our viewers don't know the obstacles that we have to overcome with Greg.
It's okay. Co-host of the Wendy's Big Show, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6. Also host of the Milwaukee Bucks Pick and Save basketball post-game show after Bucks games on The Fan as well. He is Gery Woelfel of the Racing Journal-Times. You'll hear him calling in after each and every Bucks game too. So we look forward to talking to you after Bucks games this year. Now, Gery Woelfel, let's talk a little bit about the Milwaukee Bucks basketball team as we get ready to start off the season. First things first, what are you most curious about this season for the Milwaukee Bucks?
The development of their two young forwards, Jabari Parker and Giannis Antetokounmpo, a.k.a. the Greek Freak.
Yep.
But yeah, to me it's like they got to take that next step. I mean, we've seen what they could do briefly with Giannis the last 2 years, a little bit with Jabari last year in 25 games. But I talked to a scout yesterday, and I asked him to rate the Bucks, every player, 1 through 10. 1 being you shouldn't be in the league, 10 you're a Hall of Famer.
But is the rating, I'm going to be technical, is the rating the player now or the rating a player of what that scout thinks he will become?
It's the current rating. And this,
right now.
This shocked me. Now, I've only talked to 3 people. I'm going to try to get 5 or 6 and then do a story on it. But this one NBA executive gave Parker an 8 already, okay?
He hasn't played a full season.
Exactly. He's that impressed with Parker. He gave Giannis an 8. He said Giannis is ready now. He believes firmly that he's ready to take off.
Well, let's hope he's right.
So you have 2 players that have 8 numbers. They are by far the best players according to the people I've talked to on the Bucks. And we know they both have upsides.
Right.
So they could go to a 9 maybe in a couple of years, you know. If you have 2 players that are 9s 2 years, 3 years down the road,
you're contending for a championship.
You're a really good team.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to see, if they can take that next step.
All right, so that's curious. What are you most concerned about with this Bucks team heading into the season?
2 things. Perimeter shooting. I mean, everybody knows.
Everybody's talked about that.
Everybody knows they're not a good three-point shooter. I'm really concerned about Michael Carter-Williams. I like his overall game. But in today's NBA game, you got to stroke it from the. I mean, last year there were times Golden State had 5 3-point shooters out in the line.
But you know what, though? I think that's unfair. I think it's unfair, and I know in every sport we're all copycats, right? In the NFL,
Absolutely.
If you have the Baltimore Ravens who win with pounding the football and an average quarterback and a great defense, and everybody the next year wants to go draft a running back and draft the next Ray Lewis,
sure,
right?
Absolutely.
If Kurt Warner and the Rams win, then we all want to draft short wide receivers with a dynamic running back and change things up again.
I understand.
That's what we do. Let's not look at Golden State and say,
no.
That's how you have to win a championship.
You know what? But
you don't have to win a championship that way.
Correct. That's the brightest illustration. But three-point shooting has been trending for at least 6 to 8 years.
I agree with you. I agree.
And the Bucks are.
I'm just saying you don't need as many shooters as Golden State has.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
But the Bucks definitely need more.
They need 3 or 4.
They need more than that.
I don't think they need 3 or 4.
But I mean, the problem is Michael Carter-Williams. I don't want to make this all about him.
Yeah.
But if you look at the top point guards in the NBA, they all shoot over like 36% or better from three-point range. He shot 23%.
Let me ask you this then. Let me follow up, okay? Because if you follow us, you know that I like the Michael Carter-Williams trade when they traded Brandon Knight because I didn't want to spend the money on Brandon Knight to bring Brandon Knight back. Now, having said that, last year when Michael Carter-Williams came in, he was replacing the leading scorer on the Bucks basketball team in Brandon Knight.
Correct.
So Michael Carter-Williams had to jack shots. Without question, had to do it. Wasn't ready to do it, but had to do it. Fast forward to now this year. Michael Carter-Williams does not have to shoot 15 shots a game anymore. You have Jabari Parker, you have Greg Monroe, and Chris Middleton. Those are your 3 primary scorers on a given night. After that, you have Giannis picking up some, and then you have the bench picking up some. In my opinion, just mine, I don't think MCW has to take more than 8 to 10 shots on a given night. If that.
Well,
And if he takes 8 to 10 shots and gets a couple of free throws, he can easily average, 13, 14, and 10. He could do that this year, and he doesn't have to really shoot the ball all that great.
But again, I totally agree with you.
He doesn't have to.
But again, you have to stretch the defense.
Okay, let me talk about stretching the defense.
Yeah.
I came prepared. Now, let's talk about that for a second. Chris Copeland has shown in the preseason he can stretch the defense.
Right.
All right?
At times.
Rashad Vaughn has shown in the preseason that he also is capable of hitting that outside shot and helping to stretch the defense.
Right.
So those are two guys that you have at this point that can help stretch the defense. Parker showed in stretches, not that he's a great three-point shooter, but he also can hit that jumper. And an interesting point got made by Gary Ellerson, former Packer Magic running back. He said, you don't have to shoot just threes to stretch a defense. If you can hit mid-range jumpers,
it's not true.
That is another aspect of keeping guys off balance. Last night I was watching the Pelicans game against Golden State. And Chris Webber said that they told Anthony Davis, or Alvin Gentry, the head coach of the Pelicans, told Anthony Davis he wants him to shoot more threes this year. Now, immediately I said, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And if you watch that game last night, he was 1 of 8 to start the game, and he'd only taken the one shot he made was in the paint. That was the only shot. Everything else was outside. Now, having said that, fast forward in the game. Davis goes to shoot for a three. Now, he shot it well enough last year that he brought a defender up.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
As soon as the defender came up, he put the ball down and go by him.
Right.
And that's what you want a guy like Giannis to be able to do. If Giannis can improve that three-point shot to the point where he can draw a defender out to Goliath,
absolutely.
That's where you win.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see Giannis in a lot of pick and rolls where they're going to play him outside on the point.
Right.
Kind of like Scottie Pippen did with the Bulls and stuff like that, because when you get it into an isolation 2-on-2, he breaks down the defense. He can penetrate the lane. He in fact, if the Bucks had any guts, I'd make him the point guard.
No.
Yeah, I'm telling
Absolutely
you.
not.
He's one of these rare players. No, I'm not saying on a regular basis, but quite a bit. Like the Bulls did with Pippen.
Sure.
They put Pippen on the point. Going way back in time, when Don Nelson coached the Bucks, Paul Pressey, who couldn't handle the ball really well, played out in the point.
Yep.
And Giannis is a much better passer, a much better ball handler than any of those guys. So I think you're going to see a lot of that 2-on-2 stuff with Giannis, where he's going to be more of a creator.
You know what else is the interesting thing about this is, talking about this Bucks team, we talk about Golden State, right? And we talk about, what they did as a champion and all the shots that they made. Then you look at San Antonio. They add LaMarcus Aldridge. They add David West. And Tony Parker, Ginobili, Duncan. Okay.
Right.
Cleveland, they have Love, Kyrie, LeBron, right?
Sure.
They bring back Tristan Thompson for a ridiculous amount of money to be a bench player.
Right.
But those are teams. There is not a team that I can come up with that has the length and athleticism that the Bucks can display in their starting five that I can ever think of. Can you come up with another team that is as long as this team is in their starting five at every position?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it to you. I mean, from a defense standpoint, they should be really good.
No, I'm just saying, lengthwise and athletically. Can you come up with another NBA team?
Well,
Your wisdom, you have the gray hair, so you have the wisdom.
There you go.
Can you come up with another team in the 70s, 80s, whatever, that this team is as long as?
Well, the Lakers, when Magic was playing the point. You're talking about a
Okay, so when Magic was the point, now get it.
Byron Scott was 6'5",
he was a two.
And
then Worthy,
James Worthy, and Kareem.
Jabbar.
Yeah, that was
so
fun.
they were a long team too.
Sure, there's teams in history that have length. The problem that I really didn't think they had, but everybody keeps telling me, people I'm talking about are like NBA executives, NBA scouts, is the Bucks' interior perimeter defense or interior defense. Everyone I talk to just ripped Monroe, saying he's a horrible inside.
They've always said that,
right? Okay. Same with Parker, and Parker had that label on him going back to Duke that he's not a good defender.
But Parker's added some weight, and that should help him play in the post.
It should help him rebound and offensively create more shots.
But also play in the post and hold his own, and not get pushed back.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about.
But here's the thing you got to be careful about. When you add that weight and bulk, do you lose some lateral quickness?
Oh, we'll see.
And that's what I think. I'm curious. Going back to my original statement, I want to see how these two guys, progress during the course of the season.
This is what I find amusing. They say, well, they don't get a good interior defender. Do you know what that translates to mean, everybody? Let me put my face as close as I can. That means they don't have a shot blocker. That's all that means. It doesn't mean anything else. Because Greg Monroe is going to go get you 10, 12 boards a night.
I agree.
Jabbar's going to get you 6 or 7. Giannis is going to get you 6 or 7. Michael Carter-Williams can get you 5 or 6. So, no, they don't have that guy there, except for Henson. When Henson's in the game, they don't have that guy there to block shot.
Yeah, but that's the last thing you want Michael Carter-Williams to do. You don't want your point guard
No, I understand that.
getting around the basket.
But all I'm saying
everybody's
is,
leaking out on you.
they're still going to be a good rebounding team.
Sure.
Probably better than last year.
Oh, they'll definitely be. And they have to be.
Last year, they were one of the best defenses with Zaza Pachulia, who also doesn't block shots, playing center, and wasn't nearly the rebounder as Greg Monroe.
I agree.
This team will be as good defensively or not better than they were last year. And then if they need a shot blocker, if they're having problems with somebody, they can just bring Henson in and play.
I've always thought shot blocking was overrated.
I agree.
You know, it's their team defense. And last year, the Bucks were one of the best teams in the NBA playing a conceptual team defense. The problem there, Steve, is they caught teams off guard with that kind
And this year, they'll be ready.
And opponents are ready. Now, the Bucks are going to have to come back and counter.
And they will. Sweeney will.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, it's going to be fun to watch.
And I want to see how much better Monroe gets. They will coach Monroe up, and he will be better. Because remember, he had Drummond next to him. And Drummond was a shot blocker, so he didn't have to be that guy. Mm-hmm. So let's see what Monroe is now. I'll say Monroe averages over a block a game. We'll see if I'm right or not. Because that would be good for Monroe. He could average over a block a game.
He only averaged a half a block last year.
So he doubles.
But again, who cares? It's all about playing team-oriented defense.
How many wins?
44.
44. That would be the over in Vegas is 43.5, I think.
Okay.
So you're saying 44.
Yeah, give or take.
I'm rolling with 50. He's Gery Woelfel.
That's only if Jason Kidd doesn't tank the last game of the season.
Still bitter about 41 and 41.
They could have had a winning record last year.
Yeah, he's Gery Woelfel. I'm Steve Sparky Fifer. Thanks for tuning into another edition of Sports Junkies. Don't forget, after each and every game, it's the Milwaukee Bucks Pick and Save basketball postgame show on AM 1250, 105.7 FM The Fan. If you can't pick it up, you can always get the 105.7 FM The Fan app and listen that way. We'll talk to you after games all season long and right here at RacingSportsZone.com.